I wanted to ask you about your famous skit, Ebony and Ivory with Eddie Murphy. I watched it again the other night. It's a classic. Could you do that skit today in today's environment with what's happening in the country?
You couldn't do Ebony and Ivory today. You really couldn't. There were some words that we used that really are not offensive, but by today's standards, with the cancel culture, it would be done. The grace of working with Eddie Murphy, though, and the privilege of working with a great comic genius like that, he could say and do anything and get away with it. Like even when he was on Saturday Night Live recently, he did some things that went, wow, man, he got away with it. And as a comic, as a dinosaur from the old days, you love to see it. We're too sensitive now. You should be able to do Ebony and Ivory. You should be able to just loosen up a little bit. We're way too sensitive. But they're using it, it's going beyond the sensitivity of what could be offensive to someone. They're now using it for political purposes. They're politicizing everything we say. It's all politics. It has nothing to do with what's right and what's wrong, what's offensive and what's not. I had this conversation with my kids, If you're in school, if I may, Nick, if you're in school and you say something or text something marginally bad in school, you are vilified. There's one specific example in my community where a poor girl took her own life because she said the wrong thing that was politically incorrect. And so the school said, oh my God, you can't say that. She was so embarrassed, she took her own life. They're driving us right to the brink. It's so important that I feel like we have to fight. We're like warriors in a fight to be able just to live our lives in a natural way. We're far too sensitive. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's okay to laugh, to have fun. And you know what? If someone calls me a dago or a wop or a guinea, I'll deal with it. I don't need anybody. I don't need legislation. I don't need a representative. I don't need to start a law. I don't need to say, you just broke the law. You called me an offensive name. I could deal with it. We're way over the top, too sensitive these days. What good did this cancel culture do? It's a great point. When you're rioting and you're in Portland or Richmond now, and you're burning down buildings and you're burning down people's homes and businesses, someone could explain to me how that helped. When we did the revolution in 1776, there was a purpose. We had a government we wanted to put in. We had initiatives and purpose and a Declaration of Independence. What these people that hate us, that think we're too offensive, what do they have? What are they trying to build? And I say that objectively. I'm just another confused American, trying to make sense of it all.
I've been on a lot of conference calls and covered a lot of events with Democrat lawmakers who say it's about equality. It's about, African Americans having equality with everyone else. Do you think that's really what a lot of this is about, these protests tearing down the statue?
No. I've dedicated 25 plus years of my life helping the at-risk communities in the United States. And I've walked cities that were deemed the most dangerous cities in America. I've walked the streets because I just feel there, but for the grace of God go I. Hard to believe, Nick, I was a bad kid. But, I had my parents there to straighten me out. A lot of these kids in the stressed areas don't have a father in the homes, and I would walk the streets and help out these nonprofits in the inner cities. To this day, I still do that. How, in the name of God, can you lecture me when you let the violence that goes on in these inner cities every single weekend, it incenses me, because those of us who put our lives on the line and try to do our philanthropic good, just to be good citizens, and then we're lectured by people who say you're a racist, you have privilege. Well, why don't let's all join together, and I got to tell you, the way President Trump is doing it, with those opportunity zones and going into the inner cities with guys like Dr. Ben Carson, with Mike Lindell, Mr. Pillow, they're going into the cities and they're at least doing something about it. When we get lectured and they tell us that it's social inequality, it's racial, show me, put your money where your mouth is. Help out the folks really in need, in the stressed areas of America, then you come talk to me. Then I'll listen. Right now, they have no credibility in what they're saying.
And with cancel culture, what do you make of that and the effect that that's having on entertainment and society as a whole? Is that a good thing that's going on right now?
No, so the cancel culture is so funny because, Hollywood has been so politically correct in the vein of comedy, in the vein of entertainment. I'm not offended by it, but God forbid somebody did something 20 years ago, including myself. And you look and you go, oh my God. So, Gilbert Gottfried, one of my favorite comedians, Gilbert Gottfried, great, crazy Gilbert. He's great. He's so funny. We had a chat. What we did in the comedy clubs in the late 1970s, if we did it now, we would be arrested. Thank God there weren't cell phones around. But what Richard Pryor did it, man. Eddie did it, Everybody, it's gone just too far. And so everybody's just, the cancel culture is just out of control. It's just to shut us down. It's all about this, please. And this, look, I'm an entertainer. I kind of took on this new mantra of jumping on the radio the last 6.5 years. They say you're a conservative. I'm a patriot. I'm an American, So I'm just trying to I feel like I'm one of the guys trying to save this country in my little way like that. And the cancel culture, it's all about power.